What is happening, Elevation Nation? We're back with another episode, another elevator. We have a special person joining us today, Jess Diamond. Welcome to Elevation Nation. Jess is a certified life and nutrition coach and personal trainer at Diamond Coaching, and also the host of How to 20-Something podcast. You might hear us on there in a couple short weeks as well. Just putting that out there. But Jess, welcome to Elevation Nation. We are pumped to have you.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, and I'm excited to have you guys on mine as well.
I mean, Jess, what a name for a podcast. I think if Parker and I could go back in time, we probably would steal that name because that's what we talk about a lot on Elevation Nation. So I'm really excited to explore some of the synergies that we have, not only with the stories and podcast guests that we've had on, but certainly with the advice that you've given yourself and some of your clients as well. There's just a lot in common with our mission and our purpose. And so I'm really excited to dive into that a little bit with you. But before we begin, Parker gave a pretty good intro, but I bet it's not as good as yours. Can you give us your elevator pitch?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Jess Diamond. I am the CEO, founder of Jess Diamond Coaching. I am a confidence coach for young adults, and I basically help them get their shit together. I hope I'm allowed to curse, and confidence in what that looks like, and overall belief in their capabilities to go after whatever it is they set their minds to, and feel well equipped for whatever change is going to happen in their lives. So we do nutrition, fitness, career, relationships, boundaries, time management, just really anything you can think of that you need help with. I consider myself to be the one-stop shop due to my background and everything in helping you achieve the vision that you're after and reach your full potential.
I absolutely love it. I feel like this conversation is going to be great. We're going to be talking a lot of mindset. As a 20-something, we'll call it that, Sam and I are getting a little bit older. We're getting close to the 30-somethings in a couple years. We still got a couple years on us. But, the life as a 20 is such a unique time, right? We all go, if you go to college, you go to college. If not, you go right into the real world, and life hits you. Shit hits like, wow. It's the oh shit moment that we all realize in life, right? Where you just wake up, you're like, I'm an adult. I got to make adult decisions. And with that, there's a lot of change. And so Sam and I in Elevation Nation, I'm sure are very curious, like, how did you even find yourself in this world of coaching and your passion to help other 20-somethings figure out their mindset?
Well, I would say it was an accident, and I was actually having a conversation about this with a friend of how I stumbled into my passion, and she's like, yeah, but that doesn't just happen. And I was like, actually it does, and you just have to be open to opportunities and explore what you want. But for me, I was a struggling, fresh out of college grad. It started, honestly, I say from the moment I walked across the stage and grabbed my diploma. I could not land a job after school. I felt just like myself shrinking because everyone else in my family got their jobs before they even graduated. They knew what they were doing. All of my best friends knew what they were doing, even if it was at the end of the summer of that year. And I was going on interviews. I was not hearing back. I had no idea what to do. My lease was ending at the school that I was at, which is University of Florida, go Gators. And finally got a job. Worst job I could have ever imagined for myself. I was an interior designer, so it was in a field of design that I did not have any interest in. It was shopping, and I don't like shopping. So it was retail. And it was in a satellite office with one other part-time old man employee who was retired but went back to work for some reason and was really far away from the city. I was in Orlando, so it was like an exit past Disney. Disney is in the middle of nowhere, and just everything, I was like, but it's a job, and I just need a foot in the door. I need this chance. Someone gave me a yes, I'm going to take it. And several months later, pandemic hit, I lost that job, and that's really what got me started with what am I doing with my life? Because I tied my entire identity and purpose to my job, which looking back, is like I tied it to an entry-level 9-to-5 where I was easily replaceable. And I think we all, not all, I don't want to generalize it all, but a lot of us fall into that trap of our job is who we are. And when you're working for someone else, that's not the case. And I like breaking down that belief system alone. But essentially, losing that job, I was furloughed. So it kind of just kept getting extended since the world was so uncertain. And that's when I was like, what can I do at this time? Because it's extended again and there's nothing else I can do. I can't go anywhere. The world is shut down. And I always had a passion for fitness and health. And I was like, you know what? Let me become a personal trainer and see where this takes me. And about like 2 weeks into me starting the certification, one of those Facebook ads popped up of we need trainers. And I reached out, they started training me. And that was that moment when I fell in love with helping people. I loved the feeling of them walking away feeling better when they arrived. And it was like my high. And I wanted to do nothing besides that. My mom was like, no, go try and find a real job again. Don't follow your dream. That's not real. Don't do it. And long story short, went back to the corporate world after 6 months of being unemployed with the mission to get out. And part of that was, what can I do that will supplement personal training? And that was life and nutrition coaching. It was health and life coaching was the first certification. And then I became a nutrition coach later on. And that's where I found my true passion. I was like, wait, no, this is it. So it was like, the personal training was that stepping stone, although I still do love that, and I still do that every single day. I was up at 5:30 this morning with a client doing it, but that's pretty much my story of how it got me. I realized when I was going through the thick of it, I thought I was the only struggling 20-something because in my field of vision, no one else had lost their job or was struggling. Everyone was fine. They were all working from home, living their happy lives. And I was like, no one can relate to what I'm going through. I'm the only one doing this. And as I got out of it and as I found my thing that lights me up, I was able to see that there's a ton of us out there struggling. And I became the resource I once needed.
That was a great summary of how you got to where you are now. I have so many questions, but one that I want to start with is a bit of a personal question. Jess, did you always get good grades growing up? Were you always an overachiever?
Yeah.
The reason
always.
I asked that is in our 300 plus episodes with many elevators around the world, we've heard similar stories to how I felt, which was an overachiever trying to get good grades, tying so much of their self-worth and identity into their job. And that's because when we were in grade school and high school and college, we let a GPA define our success of what college we were going to get into and what job we were going to get, how much scholarship money we were going to get. And then when you get into the real world, you go, well, the only tangible thing that I can, really make as a measuring stick for my success is this corporate job. To your point, we have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea if we even like this career path. We are just a number. And you tie all your self-worth into this new job that may or may not be a passion and probably has nothing to do with what you studied. And so I think it's very difficult, especially for these overachiever academic types from high school and college, to go into the real world and not see the ample amounts of success. It's very hard to compare yourself as a new recent grad to someone that's been doing it for 20 years and think you're going to do it better than them. And so imagine going in and you're a freshman in high school, comparing your grades and your GPA to a senior in college that's been there and done that and gets it. And so there's this unfair measuring stick that we're searching for, that validation that, hey, we're smart, you're doing the right thing. And that's the only thing we grasp onto. And so I know with what you're doing with your work and what we're teaching and preaching in Elevation Nation is you are more than just your job. Your self-worth is not defined just by that, but it's by your mindset and your mental fortitude. And so I appreciate you opening up and sharing kind of your path to get here. And I want to just reiterate something you said, like you didn't have it really figured out in your 20-somethings. I'm at the end of my 20-somethings, which I don't love saying, and I still don't fully have it figured out. And I think what I've realized now, I had someone reach out to me on LinkedIn the other day that said, thank you for saying that, Sam. I'm 40-something years old and I still don't have it figured out. And I think everyone, it's okay to still be figuring it out.
So I got a question here then, to that point, Sam. Is there a point where you actually ever figure it out? Because I've thought about this a lot, and I'm like, man, if I figure it out, I think that's a problem. Because like you got things like, what does that mean? No, life comes and goes. There's different circumstances. There's different environments. There's different things that happen. Sam, you know very well, things that you can control. And of course, the things that you inevitably can't control. And that's just life in general. And you never fully grasp it and figure it out. But yet, I feel like, to your point, Sam and Jess, is like society makes you think that you have to have it figured out.
I agree. I mean, what is having it figured out? I think that's one of those same things of what does success mean to you? Because what that means to you is going to mean something completely different to someone else. Success for someone could be a stay-at-home mom with all of her kids, and she has a loving husband that comes home and like pays all the bills, takes care of everything, and she takes care of the household. Success for someone else could be like me. I want to be a successful entrepreneur, and I mean, I feel like I am. We're working on it, but that's my vision. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's not successful for me. I want to thrive. I want to help people. I want to make my impact on the world with the work that I do. So I think that kind of goes under the umbrella of having it figured out. So I wouldn't even say having it figured out for the rest of your life, but I think you can get a grasp of what it is you're working towards in this moment or this phase of your life. And for you, that's having it figured out. It's having that direction and the confidence to go in the direction you want to go.
I agree. I love that. I think it's also difficult to say the goal is to figure it out. Does figuring it out mean that you'll be happy once you figure it out? I think that's what many of us believe. Well, once I figure out where I'm going or once I achieve this big goal, I'll have figured it out and I will be happy. And one thing that I'm working on, and I think it's easier said than done, is like, nah, I got to work on my happiness right now. Do I have a job I love? Yes. Is it my dream job? Maybe not, but I love it. Does that mean I can't be fully 100% happy right now? No. But that's on me, Sam Panitch, as an individual to figure out. And I think that's where a lot of the work that we're trying to preach, and I know you are too, Jess, is it's in your hands. It's in your control. Our mindset is the only thing that we really can control. And so how do we change our narrative to not be striving for something in the future, not for something to be figured out, but how do we be in the present moment and accept this mindset and accept where we're at as being fully content and happy? And so that's kind of what I've been working on personally. And again, 28 years old, don't have it figured out, but trying to be happy in every single moment.
Well, I actually have a book for you and for anyone listening,
Please.
because that's something I'm working on right now too, in a little bit of a different sense, but it'll make sense once I explain it. So it's The Gap and the Gain, and it is telling you that a lot of times we compare ourselves to where we think we should have been or where we want to be, rather than all of like measuring backwards. So everything that we've accomplished so far and everything we have right now. And more times than not, you find yourselves in this gap mentality of everything you're lacking. So it's switching it so that you can see everything you do have right now, be happy with where you're at, and also be okay with wanting more. Like, it is okay to have goals. It's okay to reach for things, but don't measure yourself to missing those markers. If you didn't set those goals, you wouldn't have taken any action to go in that general direction in the first place.
Who's that book by?
Oh,
Do you know? Oh,
not
it's
off
all
the
right.
top of my head.
Put you on the spot.
I do.
Yeah,
I was
like-
just typing it to put it on my Goodreads account. It's by Dan Sullivan, The Gap
Yes.
and the Gain. The
All right,
High
Dan
Achiever's Guide
Sullivan.
to Happiness, Confidence, and Success.
Yeah, I'm about
Interesting.
halfway through, and everything he says, I'm like, oh my God, you're calling me out right now. And I would say, like, my mental switch of going into a potential client call has changed, because it's not going in. It really just opens up your mind into different things of how you walk into something, and someone else could apply that to walking into an interview or walking into asking for a promotion. It just switches everything. And I feel like I didn't realize, like, I mean, you never know what you don't know, but I thought I was getting the hang of all the self-help stuff. I've been reading self-help books since the pandemic, just nonstop. But this was a game changer book for me, for sure.
What was the name again, Sam? Just so I know.
The Gap and the Gain, dude, for the third time.
No,
I wrote
no,
it down.
for the
I'll send
author.
it to
The
you.
author. The author. The author.
Dan Sullivan.
Dan Sullivan. All right. So, Jess, Dan Sullivan changed your mind on some things, and I'm sure he lays out some cool frameworks or stuff to help you do that. But Sam and I in Elevation Nation are even more curious. How are you helping your clients and the people that you work with to help navigate those, changes in their life, their mindset? Do you have like a framework that you go off of?
Yeah, I do. So I have a signature system that I created. It's called Own Your Life, because by the end of it, you want to be in charge of everything you're experiencing, both the good and the bad. And within that, there's different journey points. So we first create your vision. What are we trying to accomplish together? Or what am I trying to help you at least get on the right road to be able to accomplish it eventually? Then we work on all of your consistency. So this is your consistency in your routines, in your habits, the way you're showing up for yourself, your priorities, just being reliable to you is the way I like to say it. And then we work on your control. So looking at all the things that you are in control of, as well as releasing what you're not in control of, as you were saying before, of a lot of things happen in your life. A lot of bad things can happen in your life, and that's out of your control, but there's always some kind of lesson to be learned or something that you can find within your control to, I guess, calm the chaos that's going on in your brain when these big life disruptors happen. And then there's the other parts of the change that you want to control, like if you want a new job or you want to move cities or you want to get into a relationship, so navigating that as well. The fourth stop is connection. So who are you surrounding yourself with? How are they helping you, I'm going to use your word, elevate to be to your next level, to be a better version of yourself, or to support your vision as well? So not the people that are sucking your energy or holding you back, but the ones that are encouraging you to go after the things that you want. And that last stop is confidence. So confidence in your ability to do it all, your ability to achieve that vision, confidence in speaking up for yourself as well, for what you want, knowing what you want and finding the words to do so, confidence in the decisions you're making, and just how it all comes together so that you feel basically confident in whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So that's the Own Your Life framework that I take my clients through, depending on what it is that they want. So that could be someone that wants to feel confident in the gym, and we just work what are your goals? Why do you want to be in the gym? And then go through each of those, I guess, pillars is what my coach calls it, to get them to feel like they're good. They know exactly what they need to be doing to go where they want to go.
Having a framework like that is so essential, especially for those academics that are so used to school telling us exactly the next steps and what to do. And so for anyone out there that's like, I just graduated, I'm in my 20s, what is life? How do I do this thing? I think it's fantastic to have a framework like that. And we certainly do something similar to ours with mental fortitude and how we help our elevators grasp the concept of mental fortitude that we believe is a missing piece for young adults. So I'm so proud of the work that you are doing. I think for anyone out there that is feeling lost, certainly check out. We'll link to all of Jess's info and her website and her podcast and her coaching so you can check her out in some of those frameworks that she has. But Jess, I want to kind of move us into a new segment that we have. It's not every day that we get someone as wise as you as a life coach with life advice for people in their 20s. Usually it's just Parker and I pretending that we're wise. So we wanted to ask you some various scenarios that are ones that we've experienced ourselves or that similar, young adults have told us they've experienced. And we want to kind of know from your perspective how you think they should handle it. Sound good? You up for the challenge?
Pressure's on, but I guess I'm up for it.
I think you got it. All right. We'll start with this first scenario. Sounds familiar to probably many people out there. Someone just moves to a new city. How should they manage this change?
Ooh. I gotta think on this.
This just happened for both for Parker and I recently in the past couple of years, so that's why we wanted to ask this one.
Well, I'm also trying to think of what I've done and what I've helped clients do, and I think one is say yes to as many things as you can, because you need to get your foot into the networking door. You need to find your people. You need to just start somewhere. I would say join a gym. Gyms are very friendly places, and there's just a lot of networking groups that go on within them as well, and it's a healthy environment to be in. Utilize your work where you probably moved to a city for a job. So how can you talk to your coworkers, ask them what are the best things to do? Or there's tons of Facebook groups or meetup groups that just start exploring what is out there from a person, like friendship type level. And from there, you'll learn a lot. But I think it really, cities, it's one of those sayings of it's not the people, it's not the place, it's the people type of things. You need your people. Without a network of people or someone to do something with regularly, to some extent, you're going to feel really lonely. You're going to hate the city that you've moved to, and you're just going to hide out because that's the easy thing to do. It's easy to like sit on your couch, watch Netflix, and just let the next day pass until you're back at work again, living that 9-to-5 life. Go say yes to opportunities.
Especially if you work from home. So I agree. I fall into that trap. I got to work on that. Thank you. Good advice, Jess.
I love how you kept it with the theme of the episode too, and changing environments, because what you're talking about is it all is about the environment that you're putting yourself in, right? If you go to the gym, you're putting yourself in an environment where you're not only benefiting yourself physically and emotionally and mentally, but you're putting yourself in a place to meet other people who could then help you start navigating the, like I think of like the web of like you meet this person and then that could lead to meeting this person or doing that thing. And so I completely agree. It really is about your environment up front. And I think also kind of holding yourself to the point of like, did I enjoy that? Did I appreciate that? Right. And if I did, acknowledging it and then realizing that you probably should go do more of it. So I love that answer.
And then the opposite is also, the opposite is also true, is if you love something and you're like, that was terrible, you still went and did it. Don't let that discourage you from not doing. I started a book club here in Charlotte, and there's like, I started by posting in a Facebook group with girls. I was like, does anyone want to join a self-help book club? Because, on theme with my life. And 35 women commented yes. And I put us all in a Facebook Messenger group chat. We have been meeting at this book club for, I think we've had 5 meetings now, like once a month.
Wow.
It has been the same like 3 to 4 girls that show up. And we met yesterday and we talked about it. We're like, why? They say they want friends and then they don't go and do anything about it. So go do something about it. Even if you hate the experience, you still took some step forward in the right direction. And then, never to go to that thing again. But not my book club. That's a great experience.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds fun. All right, next scenario for you. So we have this person, let's think of this person just moved to the city. They just got their bearings in this city. They're meeting a ton of people. They're doing a bunch of fun things, but work is becoming very unfulfilling. And it seems like they're not really enjoying any piece of their work. However, it's a pretty high paying job and things, it's helping you pay for that lifestyle that is allowing you to meet all these other people. So I'm curious, what advice do you have for that individual who's really finding life's good outside of the 9-to-5, but once they get to the 9-to-5, it's like, ugh.
I think it depends on the person, because there are some people that are after money. I try to give the message of money isn't everything. You need money to survive and to live, but your work takes up so much of your time and the next 40 years of your life that it should be something that you feel like you aren't dragging your feet to get to every single day, because it is every single day for the most part. So if you're someone that's just getting your bearings and let's say you don't even know what else is out there, what else you could be doing, this is one of my favorite things to help people with, because this happened to me. My first week of my corporate job, I was like, wait, this is it? And I just wasn't fulfilled at any point from it. You need that routine. You need I call it a solid foundation. You need a foundation in your health, in your mental, physical, and nutritional health. so that you have something that is keeping you grounded, that is stable, so you can go and see what else is out there. So you can have that self-confidence to go apply for a new job and go on these interviews. So you can explore an interest outside of your work. So it might not necessarily be your job itself at first. It might be a hobby that is out there, and through there you meet someone that does have a career you've never even heard of that is similar to that hobby or incorporates some aspect of that hobby into it. And that, again, it's networking, it's opening that door for you to go do something. But it really comes down to having that solid foundation first, so you can take risks, so you can try new things, so you can explore what else is out there, and then come back to that home base, reset yourself, and then try again.
I know Parker's chuckling on the inside because I am certainly a creature of habit and foundation and routine, in needing that in my life to feel normal. We've talked many times on Elevation Nation about my absurd morning routines, waking up early and going crazy with my meditations and affirmations.
It's going to be fun, Jess, because Sam and I are traveling for 8 days together, and we used to travel a lot together. And so I'm going to get to really learn if Sam's routine comes, intercontinental, Sam. We'll see.
We're going to find out. I'm actually going to lean with probably not, since we're on vacation. I might let it slide. But
okay,
you never
fair
know.
Enough.
We'll see. It's hard to be in a routine on vacation, which is also why it's hard to be in a routine when you travel for work. But we'll talk about that a different time. Those were great answers, Jess, to those scenarios. I think, obviously, you have great life advice for folks, and coming back to the foundations and the basics of who you are, and then also putting yourself out there, which is easier said than done. But to your point, find friendly places like Jess's book club or a gym where you can kind of take that leap of faith. I think that's a perfect way to start. So thank you for those. I want to move us, Jess, into our rapid fire section here. Kind of similar to above, but instead of scenarios, we're going to say random questions to you. And we want to know the first thing that pops into your mind. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
You got it. Don't be nervous. You're crushing it. All right. You have a podcast. We have a podcast. It's fun having a podcast. What is your favorite thing about having a podcast?
It's giving me a platform to share my message and my voice. And that's what I want. Even if there's not a lot of people listening, I know I'm doing what I can, what's within my control, to put my message out there and to help somebody.
Completely agree. If you help one person, it makes it all worth it, right? Sam and I can continue to say that and live by that. And we've been doing this podcast now 3+ years later. It's coming to terms with, what are you really chasing? And, if it's money, yeah, I guess we're falling short, but that's not what we're chasing here. Okay. My rapid fire. I actually have asked this a few times. I'm always curious, especially when asking like a life coach this question. Like, life's days going crappy. Like, what is your one wellness tip to help get your day back on track?
Move your body. Because I can tell you what my day today was not it. So remember I said I had a 5:30 a.m. client? Well, 5:15, get in my car to go drive. It's 20 degrees outside. My car has a flat tire. I text her. I'm like, I'm going to be a little late. Car has a flat. Start warming up. I'll meet you there. I hop on my bike 2.5 miles to the gym with no gloves on, no just a jacket and my backpack because I needed my laptop with me. Just biking as fast as I can. I don't even have a light on my bike, so it's dark, but it's fine. It's like a straight shot, not very hilly, so that part's good. And then the car person takes 3 hours to get to my apartment after I was done with all my clients for the morning, and finally take it to AAA. I'm like, I need this car before 5 because we're recording, and then I need it again for tomorrow morning so I don't go through the same thing. And with all the chaos of not knowing when I was going to get that workout in, I still made sure that I got to the gym. I moved my body. I got sunlight as well. I needed to do the things that I needed to do, even if it meant not getting everything done on my to-do list, which I actually ended up doing. So everything did work out, but move your body. if there's some bad juju going on. Oh, and then to add to it, I went to go pick up my car and took the train to go get it, and the train broke down halfway there. So I don't know what was going on today, but I am proud that I didn't cry, I didn't break down, and I really attribute that to I kept to my routine and to like the things that keep me mentally sane as best as possible. And for me, that is lifting weights. That it's not hammering my body, it's just doing something for myself. And for me, that's movement. And I think for a lot of people, it's just like, you got to move the energy. If you don't like the energy that's around, move it.
What a shitty day. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jess. I'm glad you could end it with at least some positivity with us. And we're grateful that you were able to make the time to hang out with us. It sounds like maybe it's time right after this for you to go to bed and start a next day, which I totally get. I've been there before. But yeah, moving your body I think is super important. There's something weird about it that like, it just, I mean, it's not weird, it's science, but it just makes you feel better. Like releases the endorphins that you need to have a better day. And so totally resonate with that. Parker loves being outside and feeling some sunlight. We like to say, go hug a tree. So two very important things to really brighten up your day. Totally agree. All right. Our last rapid fire, you already gave us an answer. I wonder if it still holds true. You brought up a book. Parker and I love to read, so we're always asking for your favorite book recommendation. Is that your favorite? Is that the one you're sticking to, or do you have another one for us?
I have another one for you. I don't know the author because I'm really bad with that. I'm the
I'll
same
look
thing
it
with
up. Go
songs. I
ahead.
never know the artist. It's The Mountain Is You. And judging by the title of the book, you're the one standing in the way of the life you want. It's all about self-sabotage and the different ways you self-sabotage. It was the first book my book club read, and I was like, this is it. This is the book. This is the book for everyone to go read. So The Mountain Is You, for sure.
I love when I get new books to add to my list. Thank you.
I love it. I think it's great. It also like kind of plays in theme of elevating just a bit, you know.
It does.
Yeah, big time right there.
It also low-key plays into, I'm starting The Sopranos, and I'm only on season 2, so don't spoil anything. But
You're not
in the
going to be
episode I
reading
was-
at all. You're going to be
No,
wanting
no.
to be watching that.
I'm binging pretty heavily. And in the episode I was just watching last night, Tony's talking to his therapist, and she's like, "Yeah, you're your own problem, dude." It's like, yeah, the mountain is you. Like, you're in your own way. Stop self-sabotaging and take control of your life, because no one else is going to do it for you. And if you can't figure it out, call Jess. We'll get her contact info for you.
Yeah, love it.
I'm jealous that you've never seen The Sopranos, Sam. That is certainly
I know
it
it's
gets
rare.
intense. It's an intense show, but I think yeah, whatever. Let's go on to the next section and our last section around the mental motto. Jess, we talked about this a couple times beforehand, and it is Sam and I's favorite part of the podcast. A reminder for Elevation Nation, the mental motto is a phrase, a quote, a slogan that you live your life by to help you be reminded that you have the mental fortitude to go do and elevate whatever it is in your life in times when they're really hard or in times when they're really good. The mental motto grounds you and reminds you of who you are, what you want, and what inspires you. So, Jess, we're very curious. What is your mental motto?
So I have one that I live by, and it really holds true for the hard times. And then I have a new one that I want to say as well after, and it's more so just something that it's for me. It makes my heart happy to think about. But so the one that has been with me through the pandemic, through every challenge and obstacle I've had to go through and overcome is it's not forever, it's for now. And it's just to remind me that this is just a small moment in my long life. This is a little flick. We're going to get through it. We just have to keep moving forward and keep trying to see the better part of it all, trying to see the lessons learned, and know that we've succeeded all of the tough days in the past, and we can do this one as well. The one that is new to me is be the best part of someone's day. And I just think it's very heartfelt, and no matter what, it's me entering into any conversation with service and with, I want to help you, I want to be there for you. because we do live in a very selfish society, and everyone naturally has the what's in it for me mentality. And I want to be able to help someone with the this isn't it for you. Like, I want to be in your life for you.
Well, Jess, I can honestly say on behalf of both Parker and myself, you have been the best part of our day. And I'm so honored and grateful that you came on to Elevation Nation to join us as our latest elevator. You are now in our world, in our community. You've inspired us, and I know you've inspired many other young people out there. We're going to link to all of your social media, your website, all your coaching, your podcast in the bio of this episode of Elevation Nation. And just on behalf of Parker and myself, thank you for joining us. It's been such a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future with your very eerily similar mission to ours, which I love. I don't say that with any shade. I say that with the utmost admiration and joy, because you're someone that's helping to solve a similar problem that we have seen and fully recognize as a huge issue. And so I'm so grateful you're on this mission with us, helping make the world a better place.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on, and I can't wait to return the favor and have you guys on mine.
I love it. Elevation Nation, until next week, peace.